Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Is that the first time the new intro remix has been played on the TV channel?
Yes.
It's very different.
Inventive.
And still loud somehow.
Loud for real.
I decreased the decibels on that by like 6.
Yeah.
You would think like
who knows?
Anyway.
We'll keep working.
We'll keep working on it. Anyway, hello castaways, and welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real in the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your reality TV thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay, I am currently finishing off my 911 from Dutch Bros, and if you are not familiar with what that is, it is 6 shots of espresso with some Irish cream. That's the day I've had.
Work. Well, then there we go. Hello.
That is the most you drink I've ever heard.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I put protein milk in it. That is the most me drinker.
There we go.
Yep.
Makes it even more you. Well, hello, everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea to the tea and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. And I am back. I know y'all missed me last week. I know, but I'm back and I'm here because I'm ready to talk about Survivor. I didn't grab anything to drink. I'm not really that thirsty. But what I did grab was the most important thing of them all, and that is the cup mug. And we do have a panel full of cup mugs. You can barely tell, but it's a panel full of cup mugs. Survivor finale asterisk edition, period. So yeah, we're here. We're talking about it, and you can get your lovely new and improved cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below, and we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses unless you're in Canada with the postal service said we ain't giving you no mail today. So if you're in Canada, there's a little bit of excuse, but as soon as the postal people get their money and get their coin and they go back to work, get your cup mug, period. And all our beautiful cup merch. Thank you.
And hello, I am Jack, your resident game designer of the panel. And just like my draft picks, I am also the person who will receive 0 votes at a final tribal council against the 2 of these people.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I disagree too. You beat Logan every time.
100%.
Really?
100%.
Yeah.
You've been in a final 3 situation.
I'm trying to think of when that happened.
Jack, you've won before.
Oh shit, yeah, I have.
I haven't even been in I haven't been in that scenario ever before in a game.
So I have an iced Americano for a reason.
Good.
Okay, what is the reason? I want to know the reason.
My brain has barely worked for the past week, 2 weeks.
20-something years?
20-something years is correct, actually. Yeah.
Well,
no, it's been like half capacity. So.
Relatable. And speaking of, I tried to make that segue happen. Speaking of capacity, the first half of the Survivor finale, aka we basically know who's gonna win. Yay!
Maybe. Or do we?
I understand that CBS was like, hey, the summit ended early. We need to split this finale over 2 episodes. I hated this. I hated every part of this.
I didn't hate it. I just wish it didn't have to happen. Like, I wish they would have just did it like they normally did it. But I didn't hate it because it is what it is. It's just about like just another episode, a longer episode than we needed. But I didn't hate it per se.
Yeah. Well, we're going to dive into 2 tribal councils, 2 immunity challenges, 2 times the 2
times the drama.
And there's 3 of us to talk about 2 times the episode.
Yeah.
There's 1 sole survivor. I don't know. Subscribe for this chaos. If you like this,
Good.
You should like this. Look, honestly and truly and clearly, you should like this because
Yeah.
our time and energy and reporting back to you of everything that happened on Survivor. And even if you watched it, you want to know what we think. So subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we do that. Subscribe to all of our other channels. All those links will be in the description below. Subscribe to our audio podcast channel. You know you want to do it so you can listen to us on the go. And our Patreon, because we got a lot of end of the year stuff coming and we got a lot of stuff that we just put out there anyway. So just go ahead and do it because I know you want to. Just do it. Just
Period.
do it.
Well, we come back from the blind side of Caroline, and Sue's pissed. She's still mad at Kyle for writing her name down, even though it was a couple tribals ago.
He wrote her name down.
She's mad. She's mad at everybody.
I
She's
don't
mad at
trust none of
Teenie
them.
for some reason. She's mad at Rachel for some reason. She's mad at everyone. And what made me mad is the fact that this Operation Italy trio, instead of owning the move, decide they're going to tell Teenie that it was accidental.
I mean, I guess the reason behind it is to attempt to extend Genevieve's idol for another 2 rounds until it is literally going to not be usable anyway. But
what makes me even more mad is that Teenie fell for it and was like,
Poor baby.
"Oh yeah, oh my god, this is just an accidental, funny coincidence that everything just fell into this place, and I can't believe it happened that way."
My poor baby.
I love me some Teenie, right? You know,
I
I-
love Teenie.
I loves me some Teenie. But baby, she has been through it in this game. She don't know left from right, up from down, from what they've been twisting in her mind. Like, I wanted her to grasp just one place, one hold in this game where she can be like, okay, I know exactly what's happening. This is what's going on. Baby, she ain't had that this whole time. She ain't had that this whole time. I felt so bad. But you know, that's Survivor. That's Survivor. But she sat there and was like, I can't believe that happened. Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, this makes it better for me to make my decision. I'm about to flip on these two because these two ain't got nothing. This is obviously the trio that I need to attach my wagon to because they the majority. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch it to them. And baby, she started singing like a canary. And I was like, oh no, Teenie, no. No, Teenie, no. And you know who wasn't about to sit there and just let them go off into the night and enjoy their moment in the sun, basking in the glory of their accidental coincidence of a tribal? It was my girl Rachel.
Period.
My girl Rachel said, oh, no. I'm not going to let y'all go off and sit into the darkness and boast and brag and talk about how good this plan worked out. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you. And she went into the darkness herself, baby, and she slunk and she slithered and she crawled and she got right behind the bushes and she sat there. Baby, I ain't scream when I saw her doing it, I was like, oh.
And the best part is she pulled it off without them knowing.
Yeah. And she heard
Everything.
Every goddamn word.
She heard Teenie tell them that she had a block vote. She found out about Genevieve having an idol. She found out that there was the plan that was concocted. Like,
she found out that they was all gunning for her, that they coming for her now. She got to win or she's toast.
Well, obviously, among the four of them, who are they going to vote out? The comp beast, strategic threat, Woman who's been in the middle of most of the decisions this season, icon, legend, or Sue.
Who also has an idol for some. Literally, that is the only note I have on Sue, is failed to play an idol to save her only ally.
Right. I'm like, are you kidding? What? Okay.
I do want to give the editing team some props here, because we do see we essentially see the same conversation happen twice, with first Operation Italy dragging Teeny aside and them spilling all of these details. And then we see it time basically almost reverse to the start of it, and watch Rachel sneak up on them and give us that same moment of, oh, Rachel is, even as she got outplayed, is still outplaying every single person on that tribe. Because even if her own advantages get leaked by someone she trusted, she still has another advantage in the back that no one knows about.
Mm-hmm.
And it is beautiful. And I mean, this is just an episode for Rachel to completely flex on everybody else.
Baby, the flex she gave was insane in this episode. It was crazy. So after they are sitting there and talking, and Rachel is listening, she heard everything, and she's like, oh, okay, all right. So she go back to Sue and was like, Teeny ain't with us. Teeny is 100%, 1,000% not with us. And Tina was like, Sue was like, I knew it. I knew it. She's like, yeah, she's not with us. So we got to figure this thing out. We just got to figure this thing out. And so they're like, okay. So it's like, all is not lost. We just got to figure. They all like, we just got to figure it out. And so the next morning, Sue wakes up early, and she like, be something. It got to be something out here. And you know what? I wasn't mad at Sue for this, because I'm like, absolutely, you never stop looking. You always keep looking on Survivor, because it could be something. And so she's like, it got to be something. So she bought a water well, and she's like, let's just dig. I just need to dig. I just need to find something, because I know I already have an idol, but I don't want to use it right now. And if I can find a reason not to use it, great. So she digging. Rachel walks up on her, and she's like, we just got to look. Let's just keep looking. Dig. Rachel's like, Sue, calm down. I have an idol. And Sue said, oh.
The way Sue collapsed to the ground, like the most melodramatic, just, all is not lost. But I'm not going to tell her that I have an idol. Girl, why?
Like, if she would have told her, they could have really did some damage and even just saved it. Like, but it is what it is. It all worked. She was like, I'm not gonna tell her. And I was just like, okay, Sue, that was kind of shit. Yeah, whatever. But whatever. She's not gonna tell her. She didn't have to tell her. They go, and Sue's like, but Rachel, I trust her so much, because she has spilled so much and gave me so much information. Although I'm not telling her my information, she gave me so much information, and I appreciate that. And I'm rocking with Rachel. And I'm like, cool, baby. That was just like, she was like, okay, then we don't have to search no more. We good. We don't have to search no more. And it was at that moment I was like, is this a 2-hour episode? Because I didn't even realize it was until, because I was like, oh, we're going right to the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I was
right
like,
to the challenge.
I was like, oh, this is a 2-hour episode. Okay.
2 immunity challenges, 2 tribal councils, 2 eliminations, 1 survivor next week. Sure. But yeah, so we go to the challenge, and it is water, logo puzzle.
Period.
Honestly, it took them long enough to put a logo puzzle this season. I feel like this is the latest it's been in a while.
Yeah. Usually when logo puzzles be at right when merge happens, right?
Or even like it'll be a tribal puzzle.
Yeah.
Like it'll be
Yeah.
one of the first like tribe immunity
Yeah.
tests.
Yeah.
And to no one's surprise, it comes down to Rachel and Genevieve.
This was so sad and pathetic. I feel very bad for Sam, Sue, and Teeny. They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
And Andy.
Like,
And Andy. Yeah.
And Andy at this point. I feel so bad for them because they ought to be ashamed of themselves because y'all all call yourself fans of this show and you don't know how to do a dang puzzle. I don't even care if it's not the kind of puzzles that we usually do on the table with the things. You could make these puzzles. You could get by these puzzles to put together and,
not from Carson Garrett anymore.
No, don't get it from him. But like, you can buy
Jail.
these puzzles at the store. They got 3D puzzles at the store now, so you can just buy the dang puzzle and figure out. Let's work it out. You call yourself a fan, and they got to the point where Jeff has to say, "Just stand back and watch and enjoy at this point, because none of y'all have a chance." I was just like, Jeff Probst, you savage little man, you.
But where's the lie?
But there's no lie.
And not to drag Teeny even farther, but I am near confident that Teeny has done a puzzle almost exactly like this before in one of her various LRG adventures. Like, I'm confident this kind of puzzles had to come up. And of course, they're the one to say, I hate puzzles. So it's it really is a 2-horse race. With Sue, at least Sue was a distant third.
Yes.
So
yes. It is what it is. It was bad. To hear Genevieve say at the beginning, "Oh, I hate puzzles," and Rachel was like, "Oh, I love them," and it comes down to them two. It just seems right.
And then
to
get Genevieve winning her first immunity. Hey, good for you, girl.
Good for you, girl. Good for you, girl. and it was a reward challenge too.
So we're going to the sanctuary,
mm-hmm.
and of course we're not picking Rachel. So we're not picking Sam because his stomach is ruined.
Don't pick me.
So we're taking Teeny and Sue. How fun!
Yay!
Where while we're on the sanctuary reward, oh boy, Teeny has too much red wine. And tells Sue that Genevieve has an idol.
And Genevieve was like,
you could not script this.
Oh no, but wait.
This is amazing.
This is actually pretty good for me. Honestly, not that mad that Teeny spilled the beer. Keep talking, Teeny. Here, you want more wine? I'll pour you a refill. Keep talking. Because it made Sue like, oh, she has an idol? Huh. Interesting. So it makes this fake idol that they put together seem even more real in Sue's eyes. And now, well, it seems real in Rachel's eyes. Now it's real in Teeny in Sue's eyes. So it just seemed to be more real to them. So it's like, oh, okay. All right. Now Teeny is like, she's like, oh shoot, oh crap. I just started working with Genevieve and now she won't trust me anymore because I can't keep my mouth shut. That's the 23-year-old in me coming out. I can't sip wine without spilling all the beans. And Genevieve's like, no, I should send her a thank you basket for that because I think it just saved me extra time, So that was that. Meanwhile, they ate their lovely steaks and potatoes and juice and wine, and they had a great time.
When TD said, "Oh, I don't need the juice. I have my juice." I have never felt more seen on Survivor in my entire life. I have never felt so seen. I would have wanted it to be Pinot Grigio, but I have never felt so seen in my entire life. Thank you, Teeny.
Period.
18.
But meanwhile, back at the beach, it was the complete opposite of joy that was happening at the sanctuary. Because Rachel, my girl Rachel, if y'all, but just a side note, if I haven't done this in this podcast yet, Rachel has my stand card,
Oh,
and
wow.
she has it.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has it deeply set in her pocket, like it's laminated and everything, and she owns it. I never need it back. Period. But Rachel is letting Sam and Andy have it.
Have
She
it.
is like, let me tell you something. She said, I mean, this was fun. This is great. I hope y'all enjoy giving Genevieve the win here because honestly, that's what you did. Andy, did you like your big move? Did you appreciate your move? And he was like, I mean,
Damn.
I mean, he was like, I mean, you made a move, but what is it? At what cost? At what cost? I was like,
Scalp him, Genevieve.
Baby,
Rachel.
Just take it, just snatch his wig, just snatch it, baby. She was just like, and Sam, I mean, what did you think you gained from this? You think you could beat Genevieve in the end? I mean, I don't think you can. And he's like, I mean, maybe not. I don't, but it is what it is. And Rachel, I just feel like it's just necessary for me to vote for you at this point. Like he's just telling her, like, this is what's gonna happen. I'm voting for you because it's better for my game. And Rachel's like, okay. I mean, I get it. The game is the game. I never took anything personal because for 20-something days, this has been a game to me. And I've adjusted my life as so I'm not taking it personal. It's sad because we've been together since day one. And it's just sad that this is how it comes to an end because the two of you I really wanted to play with. And Sam was like, yeah, I know. We just never lined up. We tried and we just never lined up. And she's like, yeah, no, don't. It's okay. It's not personal. All the while, she's sitting there with an idol in her pocket, knowing she is not going home. And I said, baby, the Oscar, the Emmy, the Tony goes to Rachel. Period. Point blank. She is eating this up. And then, oh my God, I know I'm talking so much, y'all. But then she flips it around and goes to Andy because Andy wants to talk a little bit more. And Andy decides he wants to lay out everything. He don't want to lie to her no more. He want to tell her the truth. And he's sick of lying to her. So he wants to tell her the truth. And he's going to tell her everything. And she's like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, I want to first tell you goodbye because after thinking about everything and going back and forth in my brain about what to do, you laid out a great case for Sam. You did. But in the end, Rachel, I think it has to be you. And she's like, I was hoping, Andy. I was hoping. And he was like, let me explain to you move by move everything that I've done in this game because I want to show you going into the jury. When you go into that jury, you can tell everybody what I did. And this is what I've done. I did this and this and this and this and this. I lied to you and them and them and them and them. And I did this and this and this all because this is my game and I'm tired of being underestimated. And Rachel said, got it. You did a lot.
Yeah.
You did a lot, Andy. I didn't know.
You're so right. You're so
You're
good.
so right. You're so good at this. I guess I will have to go into the jury knowing how well you played this game. And baby, she sat back and was like, was I looking in the wrong direction? Did I fully underestimate Andy? Because if he Okay. And then they just the editing team.
That's
I
how
love
we
them
go
so
into
much.
tribal.
I was like the editing team. I love them so much. They didn't let us get that conversation with Sue and
Nope.
Rachel. Why would they show us that? No.
Nope.
They just let us go in knowing that she's thinking about possibly Andy, but Sam is still on the brain. We know what's about to happen. They have no idea. And I love this so much. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
I do quickly want to add something because on the way out, we do find out a little bit more about what prompted this conversation because there is one thing missing from this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a conversation between Goddess sitting on the beach and Andy laying out everything to Rachel. And that is Rachel going to Andy and saying, hey, so just so we're clear, if you lie to me again, you're losing both mine and Sue's jury votes, like permanently. It's over. It's done. And that's why Andy specifically opens up the conversation with, I don't want to lie to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets him into a place of perfect comfort to just lay everything out. And Jesus Christ, Andy, what the fuck?
It was so wild. It was so wild. I was just like, I've never seen anybody just lay their game out like that to anybody. Just on thinking they're gonna go out the door.
I've never seen someone tank their entire game in 10 seconds.
Crazy.
Wild. I'm sure that conversation was like 20, 30 minutes. But to us, it was just like a 10, 15, 20-second conversation. And he tanked his entire game in just that fast. And I was just like, gee. And I gave Andy my stand card. And I stand by it. I do, because he played an amazing game up until that moment. But baby, I was just like, woo. I mean, he had no idea. He had no idea she had it. Which
the moment you get too confident in Survivor is the moment that you go home. And
we've seen
tribal is,
so
you know,
season.
Yeah. We go to tribal.
Mm-hmm.
A typical tribal. We get Rachel's basically concession speech, which just makes this. I'm gonna go ahead and call this Rachel's funeral. She is the Dan Giesling of this season. If not, maybe this is one of the best tribal sequences I've seen. I'm gonna say maybe in the new era.
Yeah.
For me, this is up there with the Drew vote on 45 and with the Omer vote on 40 on 42, 44, 42, 42. Yeah. Like it's the Omer vote, the Drew vote, and this vote right here. Just the sequence, and Jeff plays into it. And Jeff knows Rachel has an idol.
Oh yeah, he knows.
That Jeff knows that Rachel has an idol. So he's playing into it. She gives her cute little concession speech. They go up to vote.
Baby, when she said, I mean, it's hard to come in here when everybody has basically told me that I'm going home today. And it's just like, what do you do, Jeff? And Jeff is like, yeah, what do you do, Rachel? It's just like, ooh, this. I do this. It was so good. And then they go vote.
And Sam gets his vote blocked.
He goes, okay.
Period.
Okay.
Sure.
And he comes down with the urn, and Jeff asks them if anyone has an idol. And long pause.
Jeff?
You know what, Jeff? The only thing better than attending your own funeral is knowing that you're going to wake up the next morning. Period!
Line of the century.
I mean,
oh my God, that was the best line. You know what? I'm sticking that in my thing. That's the gaggiest moment in
Like
oh my gosh,
the way she plays her idol. 4 votes go down on Rachel, and we're like, all right, cool. Did Rachel and Sue have the conversation? Did they talk? Is the editor not going to show us? Bye, baby Andy. You know what?
I hated it and loved it at the same time.
Yeah,
I hated it, but God, that man got his comeuppance for being a cocky motherfucker in this moment.
That moment of him being like, finally, just like Sam and Sierra, who I basically looked up to this entire game and wanted to be in that power position. I'm finally in that position where I can just be honest and tell someone they're going home. And then to have Andy go home and Rachel turn around and saying, you did really convince me, just not in the way you were expecting. Art. Modern fucking art.
This is performance art.
That was a masterpiece. That was so good. And then even the way Andy took it and was like, I got idled out of a game on Survivor. That's the best way to get out of a game. Still no, like I got idled out. If I'm going to go out of Survivor, I would rather it be something big and flashy and idle out.
I would rather it be... honestly, the ideal way to go out is either idled out or something like 3, where just everything gets played and it's like, well,
it's just you.
What am I gonna do? Like, there's that and that's why I love Survivor so much.
Yeah.
And I love Andy for this. He is someone that, I'm still holding some resentment against him for voting out John Lovett in episode 1.
Fair.
And for other things, but he's just been a great game player. And to have the Rachel and Andy arc end with this blindside also just feels so correct.
It feels right.
I absolutely loved it.
It was so good. It was such a good tribal. I was just like, this is how I want my Survivor to be. This is how I want my Survivor to be.
And then for them to go back to camp and Rachel and Sue to get to do the exact same thing that Genevieve and Sam did the night before.
But then first that was chef's kiss. Love that. But what I didn't like, and I agree with Sam and Teeny and Sue on this one, was Rachel and Genevieve was just like, oh, one of us won. Whoever makes it. Like, they were talking like they just knew they were winning. And here's the thing.
They were talking like it was night 25 and it was day 26 tomorrow.
Yep.
And that's it.
And it was down to our final 3. But here's the thing. As much as I hated it, I'm about to say, as much as I hate it, not wrong. I just feel in my bones that whichever one of them got to the final 3, if either one of them got to the final 3, they win it. Like,
I mean, yeah, at this point it is Rachel beats Genevieve, beats Sam, and Sue and Teeny get votes if they don't like the person they're against.
Right.
That's basically the only scenario in which I can think they can really get votes at this point, because Sue at this point, once again, the only thing she has done is be, even if she doesn't really want to admit it, she's seen as the motherly figure of the tribe and is constantly underestimated and has not done anything to resolve that issue. And then we have Teeny, who has been more wrong with votes than right.
Right.
But he wrote her name down, Jack. But he wrote her name down. Sue's game ended when Kyle got voted out.
Yeah.
She had no storyline anymore. It just
other than her idol that she still has that no one knows about, even though everybody
kind of knows about it, but they're all like unsure if it actually ever existed.
Right.
But Yeah, the stroking of the egos was not the
It
tea for
wasn't.
me.
Yeah, it wasn't the best moment for Rachel and Genevieve for me. I was like, y'all might need to calm down just a little. Even if you're right, you still got other people getting ready to go to the jury. You might want to calm down. Calm down. But
And then we basically go right back into an immunity challenge. And it's a classic. This is one of my favorites.
stackety stack. Stack, stack, stack.
Stack, 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 stackety stack, 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 stackety stack, stack, stack. And I do love that this whole time we just got crossfade, because everyone sucked. Everyone sucked. Everyone was bad. No. It was just why, for what reason, everyone's bad. No one,
Right.
It took everyone so long to get to a point where they understood the challenge.
I will say, why did this challenge have like a beginning to it? Like normally,
why are we running out of the ocean?
Right.
Yeah. Normally this challenge just starts and we're just like, okay, and you're gonna stack.
To make
but
them
this
tired?
time we're gonna sprint out of the ocean and go under a barrier, and then you're gonna stack.
Y'all have starved these people for 24 days. You don't need to make them sprint out of the ocean.
Under a sand wall.
This isn't a challenge that finishes in 5 minutes. This is a challenge that takes like a good hour. Why are we starting with a minute sprint? Because that's not gonna matter. But
it didn't. It really didn't.
It really didn't.
Because everybody had to get their rhythm and figure out how to stack it and how not to make it fall. Coming off the platform too hard, because then that makes it fall. Yeah. It was just trying to figure out the nuances of stacking these balls and cups. Balls and cups. Balls and cups. And had to get 6 of them. And as normal, it came down to Rachel and Genevieve again. But they kept falling over and over again. And it was just like, wow. But like you said, crossfade, fall.
And it comes down to Rachel and Genevieve both trying to get their last ball. Yep. Rachel gets hers. The way it slid down the fork, back up the fork, onto the cup, and you could see every single one of the little cups was moving. And I was just like, oh no. But I also wouldn't have been mad if Genevieve had won this immunity challenge, but no.
She was moving so slowly off of that thing. And I was like, every time she would move, I'm like, oh no, she hit it. Oh no, it's moving. Oh God, it's falling.
Oh Lord,
no.
Not Ekin-Su.
Oh, no, not Ekin-Su.
Not Rachel
Lord,
Sue.
My baby. Not
Rachel Sue.
Baby, it was the most. I think I was like holding my breath, like I was there. I was just like, come on, Rachel, do it, Rachel, get it.
And then she did.
I'm so happy. Oh, I screamed a scream that I should not have screamed that late at night.
I love it. Rachel wins.
So good.
Rachel is in the final 4.
Rachel's in the final 4 and has likely already won this game. But we're gonna keep going anyway. We have like 2 votes to go through.
No, we have one more vote.
One more vote. And then a pseudo weird fire vote.
Fire.
But yeah, so we go back to camp and Sam makes a bold move. And I've got to respect him for making this bold move.
Absolutely.
He goes to Teenie and he says, Genevieve's idol is fake. I helped her make it.
Look at him.
And the way, oh Lord, not Teenie Sue. The way, oh Lord, the way Teenie's entire game just came crumbling down around her, and we get the fade back to the Kashan vote, and the first conversation they had where they wanted to work together, And we get the Kashawn vote out again. Can we stop showing this man's vote out? I'm still depressed. Thank you.
It's like a full canon event to just be like, yeah, so there, right there, you see that there? There is where Genevieve became a player. Just so everyone remembers.
Uh-huh. Like,
you fucked with a Canadian. That's what happens.
Yep. It just, like, everything. Teeny is mind blown. Teeny does not know what to believe except for Sam. And so she goes and she tells Rachel and Sue.
And they're like, do you think she's
suspicious?
Weird.
It's a little weird.
Weird that he would come out and say that right now after the fact. And
right.
Is he just saying that to cover his butt so we would put our vote somewhere else and save? It might seem like they both came up with a plot to do this. So Tina is like, I don't know, y'all. I think it was the truth. I think it is fake. She's like, but you know what? Let's go find out. Let's go find out. So she goes to Genevieve and she's like, look here. Sam says your idol is fake. Is it? And Genevieve was like, what? He said you that? Well, yes, it is. It's fake. I mean, I hate he told you that because I was trying to trust him. I hate that he did that to me, but yeah, it's fake. I was like, oh.
I'm kind of gagged.
I do think this is potentially the smartest move, though.
I agree.
Like, in my mind, it goes, okay, great. Everyone is already confused about who's been lying this whole season.
Yep.
Add one more lie-in where you can't trust if someone is going to be safe or not. And if you trust it, you go after Genevieve.
Right.
If you don't trust it, why is Sam telling you it? Because that would blow up Sam's position, so that doesn't make any sense. So it then has to be fake. But if it isn't fake, and if this is a ploy to get votes off of Genevieve and onto Sam, and then if Sam gets the idol plate on him, then Sue goes. It's Sam's best move to say it's fake. It's Genevieve's best move to then agree and also say it's fake. And also knowing they could just use Teeny as a loudspeaker of, hey, can you just go tell people that this is just some news. Just go yell at people for a little bit. Teeny's like, okay. My turn. Yay.
I'll go tell everybody. It just was Rachel and Sue and Teeny all felt like they've been spun around so many times and lied to and manipulated by this group, by Sam and Genevieve. We don't know what to believe. We don't believe that it's fake. Genevieve says it's fake. Sam says it's fake, but maybe it's not fake. They're telling us it's fake because they want us to think it's fake, but it's really not fake. So we say we vote on Genevieve and she says no, and they vote Teeny or Sue, and one of them go. So I don't know. And so Teeny's like, well, I think it's fake. Sue was like, I think it's fake. And Rachel's like, I don't think it is. I don't know. So once again, the editors leave us in limbo because we don't know if they decided if it's fake or not fake. We don't know where they decide to go. If they just, because Sue was like, hey, even if it's fake, let's just put it all on Genevieve. If it's fake, it's fake when she gone. If it's real, she ain't gone. It's Sam. We just still, but they were like, but we don't know. It could ricochet back to Teeny or you because they don't know Sam. I mean, Sue has an idol. So Sue was like, if it ricochet back to me, it ain't going to be me, period. I don't care what they do. So it is what it is. And so I'm like, okay. Well, what do we go do? Let's go to Tribal. Let's figure this thing out.
And Tribal is Tribal.
Tribal is Tribal.
Teeny is very outwardly like, yep, so Genevieve has a fake idol that might be fake, might be real. We don't know.
Oh, I want to mention one thing. I want to go back to the last Tribal that I forgot. My favorite part of the last Tribal was when Jeff was asking about the plan, and Teeny was like, "Oh, I was just so confused about how it happened." They said it was like an accident that happened, and blah blah blah. And Rachel was like, What are you talking about? Andy
Can
Flip.
I call bullshit?
Can I call bull? Andy Flip.
Just so good.
It is what it is. Andy Flip. And I was like, period, Rachel. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like we don't know what happened when we know what happened.
This was Teeny's Fessy moment. Who flipped? It was
Who
Andy.
flipped? It was Andy,
Obviously.
girl. Teeny. It
If
was
it
Andy.
wasn't
Period.
you, and
It was Andy.
Sue and Rachel doesn't make sense to flip, and there were only 3 votes, who else can it be?
Girl. Oh, I was like, Teeny boo. Teeny love. Teeny my sweet. Teeny baby.
It's
Come on. It's bad. But okay, circling back to where we are right now, into this tribal council. It was just like, well, Genevieve has a fake idol. And Genevieve's like, well, I mean, is what y'all think it is. And Tina's like, I mean, I'm just spinning. They have spun me around so much. And she's like, what did you think? I'll just go die? Like, this is not happening. Like, she's like, no. I don't expect you to just lay down and die. I don't expect you to do any of that. She's like, I'm just telling you how I feel about it. It's not a lack of respect. I definitely respect your game and respect what you're doing. I'm just saying how I feel about what you're doing. It's spinning me all over the place, and I have no idea who's being honest, who's not, da. And Sam is like, well, I mean, if you feel like she's doing it, if it's fake, then just vote her out. I don't understand the logic here. Just vote her out. If you feel like she's a threat, if you feel like she got an idol or it's fake, just vote her out. And he was like, I mean, we just gotta do what we gotta do. And so just like, are we ready to vote? Everybody's like, we are, Teeny. What about you? Look, I guess I'm as ready as I will ever be. And my baby it felt like eternity in that booth to vote. It felt like my first time voting in the presidential election, where I took 30 minutes because I had to read every line in the thing. Like, what does all of these amendments mean? Teeny sat in that booth and was like, what to do? I was like, baby, it's 2 names. You going back and forth between 2 names. Pick one and go.
It's
like, what?
Vote Sue so that way she can say, she wrote my name down.
I'm very confident that Teeny thought that they were the swing in that scenario, and they were deciding a lot more than they actually were, because we do get the votes, but I mean, that's not the important part.
No, because Jeff comes back and asks if you have an idol or an advantage, this is the last time that it can be played, so you might as well play it. And we look, and everybody looking at Genevieve like, so? And she's like, I told you I was fake. I was like, so they're like, oh, okay. All right then. Well, it is what it is. Our votes count. Jeff. I was like, girl, put that in your pocket and sit down. So get up, yo, with her little idol, like, Jeff, I have this and I want to use it on myself. Like, ain't nobody. We're like, yay, Sue.
Yay. So, I mean, this is at least something to talk about with this.
Because it was the last time she could use
it. Does it matter if Sue... would Sue playing it on someone else matter at all? Because, I mean, she could decide, basically, because Genevieve said, hey, my idol's fake, I'm not using it. She can then decide to either idol out Genevieve or Sam and make an actual move.
Yeah.
But instead, she just burns it on herself. Someone who was never going to receive any votes, because she wasn't even in the conversation unless we're missing something.
I mean, she could have pulled a huge move. Here, like, the thing is, she could have pulled a huge move. Idled out someone. Like, she could have flipped her vote, idled out Sam, or idled out Genevieve still, saved Sam, and then, hypothetically, she could pull a Chris Underwood, go do fire herself, win, take out Rachel, and then honestly, in that scenario,
she might win. She has at least
Sue
a
stands a
decent
better
chance.
shot, but not by much.
Not by much, but it's at least
and
something.
She could have, like, I think there's definitely a universe where, had Sue thought about this, I think Sue could actually have made a pretty decent play at the end of this game. She's like, well, all my allies are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I'm going to just do this play and play the loyalty angle. And she has been the sidekick for all of the votes. And there's nothing wrong with that because she has been a reliable vote. Now, is that the most convincing win of all time? No, but is there a winning strategy to that? Absolutely. She's had one vote against her all season.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, and there is a universe. Sue gets a couple of votes.
Honestly, she could get a Caroline and Gabe could have voted for her.
Absolutely.
Because she was loyal, number one. And Sue has won an immunity idol before.
Yeah,
Sam can't say the same thing. Sam cannot say the same thing.
And she, unless next week, we'll see if Sam wins. But and Sue also did, like, even though she did burn it in this case,
she had an idol.
She did have an idol that no one knew about but Caroline, and she held on to it until Final Five. So it's like she did manage. I still, honestly, despite all of this, there is a universe. If Rachel somehow goes out, Genevieve gets voted out.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean,
sad,
the idol is
upset, in shambles, upset.
Good note here. It is 3-2 because Teeny somehow still manages to vote on the wrong side of the vote, meaning that entire string of, I really need to decide here. It didn't matter because if you remove their vote, it's still 3-1 Genevieve. Nothing changes. I was like, no, there's no, like, Teeny actually has control here. They're showing us this because it's important. Yep. Teeny voted Sam. No.
At this point, because we know that someone from this season is rumored to be on 50 or in the talks for 50. At this point, if it is not Genevieve or Saul, I'm going to be pissed.
My thought is that if Rachel loses fire, it's Rachel.
If Rachel doesn't win the season, it's Rachel.
If Rachel doesn't win the season, it's Rachel. Otherwise, it's... My thought is, honestly, it's either Genevieve or Kishan. Because Kishan gets talked about so much and is such a pivotal figure and literally just made like one or two wrong moves and somehow runs through the rest of the season, where I could see him coming back as like a wild card pick.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I'll be honest. I don't think I would, honest to God, even though I don't like him, I wouldn't be mad at anyone from Lavo.
Yeah, it's probably
like throw Asia in the conversation because, like, obviously, I love Asia.
Obviously,
Rome would be an enigma and an interesting person to see watching again.
He would 100% go out first, but it would be a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
If he came in and played the same way, he definitely would go out first. But I think if he came in, watched the season and learned from it and realized what he can't do, he probably would stick around for it. Because Rome is actually a good player. He just was too excited to play. And he didn't know how to rein that in a little bit and not be too much. And he has to know who he is and be like, baby, we can't go out there and play these games like everybody else. We have to play it a different way. That's the same thing with TK. Same thing, we have to play it a different way in order to get in order to get further in this game. So he has to learn. We not like everybody else, baby. You can't go out there and play like everybody else and be super aggressive and think that's gonna keep you in this game. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have to learn when it's time to be aggressive and when it's time to rein it in. He just didn't learn when to rein it in. That was Rome's problem. He did not learn to rein it in. It was just like on 100 every day. Like, you got to bring it down some, sir.
But
I
love
will.
Genevieve. If she comes back, I'm not mad.
Oh yeah, I do want to point out one last little bit of irony or maybe parallel as we are basically wrapping up Genevieve here. I mean, one of the early things Genevieve commented on is how annoyed she was that Rome was essentially babysitting Saul and making sure he couldn't find any sort of images or idols.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Final 5,
She
in
did
the exact same tribe size,
Mm-hmm.
Genevieve is doing the exact same thing to Rachel because she's in the exact same position as Rome as
Yep.
I am screwed if I do not do this.
All right.
And it is a funny way to see the scenario of, oh, ooh, that's what happens when things completely fall apart.
Yep. As much as you hate it, as much as she said she hated it, she knew it was necessary. And I think that's what Rome felt. As much as he might have hated it, he felt it was necessary. And so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you never know what you go do until you find yourself in that situation. And you're like, oh, I hated when I saw them do that. But here I am now doing just that.
Yeah.
Kind of gross. But that's that. Genevieve is gone. She is the 7th member of our jury. And we have our top 4 of Teeny, Sam, Sue, and Rachel. And we're going to have to come back next week for the finale, because this was the finale. But the next week is the finale. I guess. I don't know how to put it. But
it's literally going to be one challenge,
yep.
Then fire,
yep.
Then final tribal council, and then a reunion. Like, more than half of this episode is just going to be people talking at tribal council, which is so weird.
It even ain't gonna be that, because what we gonna get is a lot of back down memory lane. We gotta have the feast, and then we gotta go through memory lane of everybody talking. And then if they do what they did last year, we're gonna have the jury talking about who they think should be it. And the final, once they finish the final 4 challenge, then they'll have the jury talking about who they think or what they need to hear from the final 3 in order to get their votes. And how do we do this? Da 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 da. It's just gonna be a lot of fluffy fluff up until the challenge, and then we're gonna have more fluffy fluff after the challenge, and then they're gonna give us the quick, which I feel is unnecessary. I feel like we should have longer tribal councils where people actually get to talk and ask questions. I think this past weekend when I went to the Over the Edge, me and David were talking about this, and we were talking to Survivor people about how we would love if they would do like they used to do in final tribal councils, where the jury actually was able to give speeches. I think we're talking to Twyla, and she was talking about how Dave was like, you gave one of the best jury speeches, and you know, just we want to see more jury speeches. And I think it was Twyla, I'm not sure. I'm not survivor knowledge is not my forte. But anyway, it was just like we wanted to have more speeches from the jury. So I feel like they could cut down all the fluff. Like, yeah, sure, we can go on the journey after the challenge. Like, come in, go right to the final, you know, a little talk before, go right to the final 4 challenge. Let them do the challenge. Let them do the fire making thing. We get our top 3. We'll get them the feast. Let them have their little talk, you know, going through the pre-jury and jury and blah, 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 all that stuff. But you need to at least give us 30 minutes of tribal council. It needs to be at least 30 minutes of tribal council where we get questions and speeches from the jury, because you kept them out there all that time. At least let them get their final word in. Give them the talk, let them talk, and then let the tribal council be a real tribal council where they ask these questions and they get full answers. Everybody gets asked questions, because I hate the tribals where it seems like all the questions are going to one specific person or 2 people, and the third person is just sitting there like, nobody's asking me questions. I know I lost. You know what I mean? It's just, I hate that. I feel like everybody needs to get questions. Everybody should have the opportunity to explain their game. and give why I should win. And these 1 minute or 2 minute opening statements and closing or no closing statements, I don't even know how they do it anymore. It's just wild. I feel like they need more time in the tribal council so that people could actually get their questions off and their answers off. But that's just me. But we'll see how they work it out in this next week, in this final episode of Survivor.
And we will be here to talk about it. So,
absolutely,
thank you for joining us for this almost kind of sort of finale recap of Survivor 47. We'll be back next week to talk about the finale for real. Subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Let us know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you want to win? And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup, mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So, cheers!
Cheers!